Hey replay viewers, thank you for watching Far East Adventure Travel live in Saigon, Vietnam in HD using Periscope Producer here. Hey everybody, John Sabot, Far East Adventure Travel. Hey everybody, hey Jevons, hi everybody, thanks for watching Far East Adventure Travel. I'm going to be doing a broadcast here over the next few minutes using Periscope Producer. This function is now available, by the way, to everybody who has the Periscope app. Previously it was just for people that had requested Periscope Producer and signed up for it. So it's in order to do this, you have to work outside of the app. So basically you need two devices to do a broadcast like this right now. So right now I have two iPhones here that I'm using. One to actually shoot the broadcast, and the other to stream the broadcast. And and it's unfortunately, if you're making comments right now and I'm ignoring you, I apologize. Trying to look at both things at the same time is a little bit challenging, but this is accessible to everybody now. If you just go into settings, you'll see Periscope Producer there, and I'm using the Pterodac Air Solo app in order to broadcast this. So the Pterodac Air Solo app is on my iPhone 6 Plus that I'm using to stream, and then I have my iPhone, little old iPhone 5S, reliable iPhone 5S that I'm using to actually stream the broadcast. So the big phone for the actual shooting of the broadcast, and then this is for actually streaming. So thank you for watching. And I picked the Saigon Central Post Office here because it's absolutely an iconic building in the middle of Ho Chi Minh City in Saigon. It's they say one of the oldest buildings in Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City. It's a top attraction here. Yes, and it is still a functioning post office, absolutely. We're going to go inside in a second, I'll show you. People are getting stamps, they're mailing parcels. It's a functioning, still to this day, post office, and it was built way back in the late 1800s. Now, there's a little bit of controversy behind who actually designed this. There's a couple of French architects that have been named. Also, Gustave Eiffel, of course, the famous Eiffel Tower designer, apparently was behind the design of this as well, but then some reports or stories say he wasn't. So anyways, regardless, it's a gorgeous building. It is really beautiful, and I just thought I would shoot this in HD just to give you guys just a really nice quality and appreciate how beautiful these buildings are. This is the Notre Dame Cathedral just across the street. It's closed, usually closed during the week. I think it's just mostly open on the weekends for Mass. And so this is a very famous square here in Saigon. This is District 1 in Ho Chi Minh City. And this is the beautiful central post office, the Saigon Post Office in HD using Periscope Producer. Hey, let me know where you're watching from so I can say hi to you. I'm just going to give a shot here of the outside, and if you want to say hi, let me say hi back to you wherever you're watching from. Boston, Rick, how are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us here. It's a hot day. It's maybe about 34, 35 degrees in the sun, Celsius. I'm in the shade right now, so hey, Taiwan. Hey, Jeff, how are you? So we're going to go inside here. I want to show you some really interesting things. It's an absolutely stunning building here. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just in awestruck of the beauty of this beautiful building from way back in the late 1800s. Old Russian architecture. Yeah, it's French Gothic, Renaissance. I mean, the French put a lot of money into Saigon here and Vietnam. They invested a lot of money. Gustave Eiffel, by the way, had an office here in Saigon, not too far away from here. And he built a lot of bridges in Vietnam, and there's still a few around today. There's one here called the Rainbow Bridge, I actually scoped from the other day, and that was designed by Gustave Eiffel. So his legacy still lives on here in Vietnam. He made a lot of money in Vietnam because the French really poured a lot of money in here. They invested a lot into infrastructure of Indochina and specifically Vietnam. So this is all around a modern shopping area. You're gonna laugh, Look where we are, look what's right next door, McDonald's. There's a McDonald's next door to this iconic, gorgeous French Renaissance Gothic building here. And across the street, okay, you guys, especially from the States, you guys are gonna love it, there's a Carl's Jr. over here. There's a Carl's Jr. across the street from the Notre Dame Cathedral and the post office. The American Embassy is down the street. American Embassy is down that way, and it's not too kosher to be photographing around there. They don't particularly like it. It's also near the French Embassy as well. It's the original site of the American Embassy, by the way. When United States resumed diplomatic ties with Vietnam back in 1995, Vietnam handed back the original property to the U.S. So sorry if I'm missing some of your comments. I do apologize. I'm working off of two devices here to show you and share with you the Saigon Central Post Office here in HD with Far East Adventure Travel. Let's go inside. Uncle Ho is just at the end there. We're going to go see Uncle Ho. And so you can see him in the background there. There's Uncle Ho, Ho Chi Minh. Beautiful, beautiful portrait of him at the end of the hall here. Look at the arched ceilings here, and there's super high ceilings. It's absolutely spacious and gorgeous. I hope that this HD broadcast is really showing off the beauty of this building. It's absolutely iconic. Check out the clocks. Check out the clocks. Look at this. Now these maps are really interesting because they are of the region, and they were done right around the time this building was open in the late 1800s. So about the 1890s, these maps were put up here as well. So these are the original maps. This one here is a map of Vietnam and Cambodia. And more clocks, more booths. I imagine at one time these are now, you can do phone calls in these booths. I'm sure or certain at one time they were just regular pay phones in there, or just private places as well. There you have more Pretoria, Seoul, Beijing, Tokyo, Moscow, all the big guns here. And this is this beautiful map of Vietnam and Cambodia, completed in the late 1800s and posted up here in the late 1800s. This is a functioning post office, so it's open for business. There's wickets open here right now. People are coming in, getting stamps, mailing parcels, all around here. It's not air conditioned, but look at all the fans. This is totally classic Indochina. You'll still see some of the old hotels around here, French colonial hotels that have these spinning fans all around outside and around. So there's no air conditioning here. Also, probably the way this high ceiling is designed, it probably is designed to circulate the air better and keep it cooler in here as well. It is cool. It's not air conditioned feeling in here, but it is cool in here compared to outdoors. And you can see all of these spinning fans here. Thank you guys so much for watching and sharing the broadcast out. Feel free to share the broadcast out with your friends and followers on Twitter and Periscope. There's a little gift shop here, all kinds of stamps and souvenirs. It appears that part of it is it appears that part of it is glass, yes, but I'm not sure if it's glass all the way through. There seems like these are glass panels here. I am in Saigon. This is my last day in Saigon, and I'm back to Taiwan tomorrow. So you can see this is a busy, regular post office here. Nice and yeah. Well, I'm sure there's some nice post offices, iconic buildings in the United States, but this is really, this really stands out. This is one of my favorite buildings in all of Southeast Asia. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. There's a picture of Ho Chi Minh, beautiful portrait of him, Uncle Ho, as he's affectionately known, and revered, of course, across the country. And you can see the time here in Saigon, it's 1:22, or Ho Chi Minh City. The city was named in him after the Vietnam War, shortly after 1975, 1976. They renamed Saigon Ho Chi Minh, but a lot of locals still call it Saigon. This is apparently there's an older gentleman that's been working here since he was 17. I'm not sure if he's still around. But I read something about some older gentleman that works around here, and I think he's maybe well into his 70s or 80s, and he's been here since he was 17, but I don't see him today. See everybody sorting here, Vietnam Post. Look at the floors. This is all original. He was not at first. Not at first. He was a friend of the West when he first sought control. But things changed. They sell air tickets here. They do, yeah. Well, there are still some American Vietnam War veterans that live here. Many Americans come here to this day, and most of the people that I talk to in Vietnam have no ill feelings or anti-sentiment at all towards Americans, so you're very safe and welcome to come here. Travels to the Philippines. He was in the Vietnam War. Okay, very good. Thanks for sharing. Oh boy, there's so many things to see. I mean, you probably want to get out to the outer islands in the Philippines and do some swimming or snorkeling or scuba diving if that's your thing. Water sports are really big, but the outer islands, I understand, are the most beautiful. I've only spent a little bit of time in the Philippines, so I'm not an expert. But I have friends that live in Boracay, and I mean, that's a very resort area, but it's a nice place to visit and beautiful beaches. And I mean, Philippines, get out to the outer islands, get down to Cebu, and there's some beautiful outer islands there. Any food named after uncle? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. So we have a pretty good cell service here in Vietnam. It is 4G in most places now, and data is extremely inexpensive. For $10 US, you can get 20 gigabyte of 4G data. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. This is the Saigon Central Post Office in HD. Finished around 1892, somewhere around that range. And they say it's one of the oldest buildings in Ho Chi Minh City. Right outside is the Notre Dame Cathedral. All of the stones from the Notre Dame Cathedral, the original stones to build the Notre Dame Cathedral, came from France. France spared no expense at buildings, architecture, and infrastructure here. But they never made a lot of money, by the way, in Indochina. The French never made the kind of money that the British made in India, in Indochina, colonizing Indochina. It just never made a lot of money. They do say there's some stories that say this was his vision, he designed it. There's other architects that have been named, French architects as well. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's definitely one of my favorite buildings in Vietnam, and one of my top favorite buildings in Southeast Asia. I love one of my other favorite buildings is the Art Deco Market in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. That is absolutely a beautiful building and naturally air conditioned as well. We've got a little bit of cloud in the sky now. It's kind of giving us some nice shade, so it's not as stiflingly hot as normal. This down here is a street where they have lots of bookstores. Mostly the books are in Vietnamese, but there's little cafes around here. And you can sit and chill. It's pedestrian only. It's really nice, quaint, quiet little place right next to McDonald's, but there's some nice cafes down the street here too, little bookstores. And we'll just get up. I want to show you this one bookstore. They've got some cool old antique books right out in the front here. We'll take a look at those, and then one last look at the building. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Far East Adventure Travel, and of course on Periscope. Well, I'm fortunate that there's really inexpensive data here in Vietnam, so it makes it very easy to broadcast these HD. Some of the book covers here. Thanks so much for watching, and also just want to put this out. Thank you guys for the donations. People were helping me out with expenses for travel and for data and stuff like that. And I really appreciate the support to my PayPal account. Thank you so much for doing that. And I will be coming to you maybe a little bit later from another special place here. I maybe have 2 or 3 more scopes left in me before I leave Ho Chi Minh City. My flight's early tomorrow morning back to Taiwan, so I'll see you again very soon from Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. Thanks. It's very easy to get a visa here now. For many people, many Westerners especially, you can get a landing visa. So you just get an approval letter done. There's agencies that'll get an approval letter done for you. It's usually around $25 to $35 US dollar charge, and then they send you the letter. You bring the letter with you to the airport, and you get in the landed visa lineup with an application form that you filled out and 2 pictures, and you'll get your landed visa here. You never used to be able to do that before, but and I heard there's a rumor now that they might even do away with this agency service, and you can get the approval letter directly through the government. I've heard that that's a rumor that could be coming, but for now you have to go through an agency, but you don't have to get a done visa where you used to be able to, you could not come to Vietnam before without having a visa first. Now you can get a landed visa. So it's getting easier and easier to travel around here, especially in other countries like Myanmar as well, where it was difficult, or it was much more hard, it was harder to get a visa. You had to have a visa before you entered the country, and now you can get, in most cases, you can get a landed visa. So India, same thing. You can get a landing visa in India now where you didn't used to be able to before. So it's getting easier and easier to travel around Southeast Asia and South Asia here. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon from Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Take care.